I had to flip one page to get here, I think. Okay, we now know adding, and we now know multiplying, dividing, so we're going to put this together. Okay, so I'm going to write 3 as a 3 over 1. Okay, I'm putting these together. So this has a bottom of 1 and this has a bottom of 6. What do you want to pick as a common denominator? 6. So if I picked 6, I would have to times this by 6, which is 18. And this has a 6, so I leave that plus 1.
Do you have to write it like that, or did you just do that?
And then on my next step, I would be doing that. Okay, all over. So now I have another. So I'm going to write this over 1 as well, just to help my brain figure out numerators and denominators. Okay, so here's a 1 on the bottom, here's an 8 on the bottom. Which bottom am I going to pick? 8. So this fraction, I would have to times it by 8. This fraction, nothing. So just subtract 3, which makes 5 over 8. Okay, so that was the adding fractions together piece that we learned on Thursday. Now, today we learned multiplying, dividing. So what do you have when a fraction is divided by a fraction? How do you set that up again? Fraction times the flipped fraction. So instead of dividing 5/8, I times 8/5. Is there any numbers you see there that I could reduce by the same thing? Can you divide any of those numbers by the same?
6 and 8.
6 and 8 are both divisible by 2. So 8 divided by 2, cross it off and put a 4. 6 divided by 2, cross it off and put a 3. 19 times 4 in your head, because 20 times 4,
76.
20 times 4 is 80, so you go 4 less than that, over 15. Okay, here we go. This is the setup. Some fraction divided by some other fraction. Okay, I'm looking at this. Here's an 8x and here's an x. What can I pick that they both would fit into? 8x and an x. I need to pick out a denominator. (8x). Does 8x fit into 8x? Does x fit into 8x? Yes. Okay, first unit. The bottom is the same, so the top is just 4. The second unit, the bottom is not the same. I would have to times by 8. So 16. Okay, ready. I'm on to the bottom now. Here's a 4x and here's a 2x. I need a bottom that will work for both of them. What's the lowest common denominator? Four x was the answer. Okay? So here's a problem on the test that people pick 8x squared. Yeah, that is common, but it's not the lowest. It'd be like me going, what's common between a 2 and a 6 and picking like 60. I don't need to go that big. Okay, you always want the lowest one, or your math is going to get so complicated you can't even do it. Okay, so 4x stays, so 3 stays. 2x, that would have got times by 2. Okay, and I heard some of you thinking I was going to pick 2x. That is a common factor, not a common multiple. You have to go, you can't go smaller. You have to always go either the same or bigger. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to apply the multiply flip. So this is 20 over 8x times, and then I'm going to put the 4x on the top, and then 3 subtract 2 is 1. Okay, so now I'm ready to look at my cancellation. I have a x divided by x. What could I possibly divide my digits by? 4, I like 4. So if I'm going to divide by 4, this would go into a 1. This would go into a 2. Then I still have a 20 and a 2. So what else could I do? Divide by another 2, so this would turn into a 10 and a 1. Okay, 2 more questions. Okay, on the top, this is a 3, this is a 3x. So what am I picking? 3x. Okay, you can always ask yourself, does it fit in? Does this fit in? For it to work, they have to fit in. Okay, what did you do to this one? Times it by an x. So x squared. What did you do to this bottom? Nothing. So don't do anything. Minus 9. This one's nice, 3x and 3x. They're both already the same, so you do nothing. Okay, give me a times flip setup. Can you write your own? Fraction times flip fraction. Can you write what that would look like? Fraction times the flip fraction. Okay, now we're ready for cancels. So 3x and 3x would go away. Okay, there is something I can do yet. What do you recognize here? Difference of squares. So I can break that down into multiples. So x plus 3, x minus 3. Then what happens is a multiplier can cancel a multiplier, top, bottom. Okay, before I factored, would you understand? You cannot cancel things separately on this one. You cannot cancel things that are connected with adding and subtracting. You can only connect them when it's some unit times some unit times some unit times some unit divided by some unit. You can only cancel when it's connected like that. You cannot cancel anything here. Like you can't say 9 and 3. You can't cancel like that.
How come it's not like x minus 3 over 1?
Oh, yeah, you could do that. But as a number over 1, I just write it as just the number itself, yeah. Like this, if you wrote it like this, it's not wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, last one.
Yeah, they did.
OT.
They had a big comeback.
It was 5-4.
Yeah.
Okay, so this has an N. This has an NM. So I'm picking something to be on the bottom. So think about what you need for them both to fit into. So I need an N and an M. Okay, I feel like that's the most important step because you can't do that. That determines what everything you do. So what did I do to this variable on the bottom? I times it by an M. So I would times the top by an M, making M squared. What did you do to the bottom of the second unit? Nothing. So do nothing to the top. Okay, now I'm tackling everything down here. So this is an N, this is an NM, so I need a NM again. I feel like I wrote this question not how I wanted it to be. Can you change this digit to a 2 right there?
I'm open for ribs.
Can you change the question for me? I wanted to do something else. Can you change that to a 2? Okay. Nope. This isn't even how I wanted the question again. I think this is how I wanted it. I wanted a 16 there, and I wanted a 4 there. I just put them in the wrong spot. That's how you see what I did. Okay, that's how I wanted the question to look like. Can you just rewrite the question?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know where it is again.
Okay, so I'm just going to revamp my question here.
I have a couple of
Okay, so what did I want here? I needed an M times her on this one. This is still not how I wanted my question, but.
Let's just leave it.
I think you
Just leave it.
Okay,
Who's gonna roll with it?
Andrew's got this.
What?
times and flip. Times and flip. Set up how it would look. Cross those off. They would cancel. And again, this would factor. This would factor. It's the difference of squares. Whoops, difference of squares, plus minus. Cancel, and you get an m plus 4. I think what I was wanting, okay, just quickly looking at this, you don't have to write anything down. So what if I had it looking a little different like this? So if I looked like this, I would cancel those, and then this would factor, and then these would cancel. How would you write your final answer? How would I write an answer like this one? 1 over. Okay, that's different. Okay? Okay, what if I got everything to cancel like this? What would you write as an answer if every little thing, every single thing canceled? Just one. Just one.
Just throwing numbers around now.